So the Dallas Wings and the Chicago Sky have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. They've officially been eliminated. Like, let's go and take a look at the standings right here. Let's take a look at the standings, and it's one of those things where it's like, I didn't think they were going to be this bad. Whatever about the Wings, at least the Wings got something. Like, the Wings at least took a flyer on Diamond Miller. As much as Diamond Miller is not great, they got something. Like, the Wings have found something in Grace Berger. Like, she can't put the ball in the basket, but she doesn't do anything else badly. She's a good defender. She had 6 rebounds and 8 assists last night. Or 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Like, she does everything but score the ball. But she might be the worst scoring guard in the entire league. But she passes to Paige. She makes Paige play better. That's a fact. Which is why I wanted to keep her with the Fever. Because early on in the season, Caitlin was best with Grace Berger on the floor. It was nothing to do with Grace Berger being good. It's that she just gives the ball to Caitlin. There's a lot to be said for someone who gives the ball to their best players. Like, that's a big problem I have with all the Fever guards and everybody. Is that Sophie Cunningham's open the corner and the ball swung to you. If every single player on the Fever, if they're semi-open, is shooting the ball instead of swinging one extra pass to a wide-open Sophie Cunningham. And that includes Natasha Howard from 3. But with these two teams down there, at least the Wings, like the Leah Rue signing, I think was a pretty rough one because they gave up a little bit of draft capital for someone who's a unrestricted free agent. I think them not trading Arike at the deadline was a bad idea. And I think their offseason was just a disaster. Dejanay didn't fit. Heinz Allen, for a max contract, has not been good at all. Like, I wanted the Fever get signed Maisha Heinz Allen, but I was like $100K a year, not on a max. I wanted to try sign her instead of the Bree Turner contract, but like, she hasn't worked out. They've got a good young 3. Like, Isaiah James is going to be a bucket getter for a long time. JJ Quinterly is JJ Quinterly. Grace Berger is just going to be a connective player. Like, she's not going to be great, but she's not going to do anything. Like, she's a Swiss Army knife. When she'll figure out the scoring, she's a Swiss Army knife. Like, she's one of those players that she's like a Mariana Ortiz, where she's going to average like 5, 4, and 4, which is, and like be a decent and be a good defender. But they've got something, and they got Paige, and they got their draft pick this year. The Sky were a disaster. They gave up Sonia Citron, and by the way, I will put my hand up. I didn't think Citron was going to be this good. Like, what I thought Citron was going to be was like Sophie. That's what I thought Citron was going to be. Like Sophie Cunningham. In all my pre-draft, I described Citron as a better Lexi Hull. That's how I described her. I said she was Lexi Hull, but better. When I remember I wanted the Fever to take her 8, they were like, why would we take her 8? Because we've got Lexi Hull. And I'm like, no, Citron's just better than Lexi Hull. She's better than Lexi Hull at every single part of basketball. But they're very similar players. And I was wrong. Her handle, her ability to create. Citron was so good as a junior in Notre Dame. She was so good as a junior. And as a senior, she was kind of the one that was cold-blooded. It was just Olivia Miles came back in, and she actually went from playing the 1 to playing the 3 and being a defensive player. Like, it was a tough one, and it was one of those things when it came to Citron that I kind of underrated her. And I think Ariel Atkins, when she's been healthy, has been really good. But the problem is that it's not just Citron. You've lost control of your 2027 pick. But so the Sky have just been a disaster. I don't think Angel's been bad. I don't get all this. Angel's the most improved WNBA player. I'm like, she's gone up by like 0.9 points per game. Her assist to turnover ratio has gotten worse, and she's gone up by like an assist. Like, I still think the best stretch of Angel's career was, I think the best stretch of winning Angel's career was her first like 7 games when she was locking people down. She was averaging like 7 and 8, but she was locking people down through the first maybe 10 games of her career. Like, I think they started off 3-3 as a rookie, in her rookie year. She locked down Stewie. That was like my favorite version of Angel Reese, but she's become a better offensive player. Like, I still think Angel Reese peaks when she's the 4th best player on her team. I think that's when we start to see championships. Like, I think we see Paige as like she needs a dog beside her. I think we maybe see Paige win a championship as a 1B. I think we maybe see, I think more than likely a 2A. As in, there's a clear like bucket getter, go-to player, superstar beside Paige, and it's in a kind of, it just depends on the setting. Like, I think if you put Paige on the Lynx, she'd be their second best player and they would walk the championship every single year. But Paige isn't on the Lynx. So I think it's really hard with the way Paige Bueckers plays. It's really hard to win with that as with a mid-range scorer as your number one option. So it's going to be an interesting one. With Angel, I think she could be a second. She could win a championship as a second option, but she could be one of the greatest third option. Like, if she's a third option, she's the best third option in the league by 100 miles. With Angel Reese, I think if she's your first option, you're a bad team. You're a really bad team. If she's your second option, you're not a great team. If she's your third option, you're a contender. If she's your fourth option, you're win the whole thing. Like, if the Sky somehow, like, if the Lynx want to go and hunt Angel Reese, who would be a really, really elite player to have in that starting lineup, they can give them the Sky's pick back, and they could try work around something to get some other asset towards them. But like, the second pick potentially is going to the Lynx from the Chicago Sky, and do you give up Angel Reese for the second pick? No, you don't. Like, there's no guarantee they're better. So, look, I think when it comes to whose future is brighter, Chicago or Dallas, I don't think either of these teams are going to be good next year. Because it's going to be really difficult. For me, it's going to be really difficult for Kurt Miller to convince players to come to Dallas if he keeps Enrique. I think a lot of players are going to want to play with Paige. But I think when it comes to Paige is that it's very different, because a lot of players want to come to Caitlin because Caitlin gets you wide open. Paige does not get you open. Like, that's one of those things with Paige, is that Paige is just a bucket getter. Paige is a shot creator. Paige is a bucket. No question about that. Paige is a bucket. When Paige just plays off instinct, she's like that. That's when we have the debate of Caitlin versus Paige. When Paige plays off instinct, that is Paige at her best, which is very rarely happens. Just like Caitlin overthinking things occasionally happens. The difference is that we see good Caitlin more often. We see winning Caitlin more often. We see winning Paige, even in games where she's not shooting well. Like, Paige if Paige isn't shooting well, her team's probably losing the game. If Caitlin's not shooting well, she's doing other things to help we win a game. That's for me the big difference between these two players. And Caitlin draws more. Caitlin creates space for her teammates more than Paige does. She's a much better passer. She's better downhill. She's better at the basket, so she collapses defense more, whereas Paige is nearly unguardable in the one-on-one. It's like comparing Carmelo Anthony to some weird mixture between, like, in terms of her overall offensive impact, it's like LeBron with Curry range. Not the defender, obviously, but it's like LeBron with Curry range. It's like prime LeBron with Curry range. But that's where I would say it. It's like, I think when it comes to the Wings, they should want to be bad for another year. They should. Like, the Wings control their pick. And if you go into the 2027 in the lottery, you've got Paige. You're probably taking AZ Fudd regardless of where you're picking, just to keep Paige happy. And AZ Fudd's will be a good fifth option. She'll be like a worse Kayla McBride. She'll be good as a fifth option. And as we saw at UConn, whether or not AZ Fudd played well or not made no difference to whether or not they won games. I know she robbed Sarah Strong of Final Four's MOP. But at the same time, like, all you needed was two of Paige, AZ, and Sarah Strong to play well, and if one of them had a stinker, it didn't matter. That's how good that UConn team was when it was all said and done. For the Sky have to get good this summer, and the best way for the Sky to do that is by trading Camila Cardoso. It's as simple as that. That is the best way for the Sky to get good, because the Sky are not getting free agents. They don't have their draft pick. So if the Sky stink it up, they're giving their pick to Washington. So the Sky can't be bad next year. They just can't be. And the only thing that I would consider if I was the Sky, maybe push reset. Go to the Minnesota Lynx and give them Angel Reese, and you get the number 2 pick and Minnesota's 2027 pick. So you're coming in with, albeit a low first round pick, but a low first round pick in 2027. So you've got 2 there. And then I would maybe go to the Washington Mystics, give them Camila Cardoso, and then try get back. I'm trying to think what you would try to get back for Cardoso. Undo this pick swap from 2027. I'd undo that pick swap. And I would maybe they want to be good. Maybe it's something like you give them Cardoso and give the Corin and give them Ariel Atkins back. And you go for the pick swap. You get that undone, and then you take their first round pick from this year, which is probably going to be like the 6th pick. What they do, they might do that, They might do that. You might hit full reset. But all around, like, I think the Chicago Sky are in a worse long-term position. No, they're not. No one's in a worse long-term position than the Connecticut Sun. The league aren't even letting the Sun Tribe sell the team. But yeah, other than that, I would say the Mystics have the Storms pick. Ooh. The Storms pick. Storms pick and undo the pick swap for Cardoso. I would do that. I think that helps both teams. It allows the Sky to tank for Juju. And it allows for, well, not even just Juju. Juju, Full Wiley, Hidalgo, Booker, Zhang Jiu. I'm blanking on some players. Michaela Williams. That draft is stacked. And there's definitely going to be a couple overseas players that are insane. But yeah, they're 2 teams that are going for the playoffs. I'll see you guys.